You might be getting tired of hearing this, but the first thing we're going to check is to confirm site, manage site, Web 140, and I'm connected to my Web 140 root folder, never any deeper than Web 140 right there. If you're not doing this at the beginning, if you're in the wrong place, it's going to be very easy with Bootstrap to get in a pickle. So please check and double check. Beginning on page 114 of Dreamweaver CC 2017 release, Classroom in a Book, we're going to select File, New, and then we are going to select Bootstrap Templates. So we can see, although very neat, none of these are going to meet our needs. So we're going to go to New Document, HTML, and we're going to click on Bootstrap. Now, this is very important. Rather than use existing, we're going to click on Create New, and then we are going to click on Uncheck Include a Pre-Built Layout. And now we're going to click Customize. Take a close look at the information here. In fact, I'm going to suggest that you do what I do. Either jot it down on an index card or pull out your camera on your phone and take a quick snap of this, because it's going to come in handy later. It's going to be referenced in the lesson, and if you can go back and look at it, it'll make more sense to you. So I'm going to suggest that you do that. Okay, again, Create New, uncheck Include a Pre-Built Layout, and then we're going to leave all of these elements for this time as they are. And we're going to click Create. Okay, now you'll find that the book is frequently going to recommend that you just work in live view. I recommend that you never work just in live view. I always want you to keep an eye on what exactly is going on in the code. So we're going to click to split view. If your things don't show up the way you want them to show up, go to Window and then come down to Workspace Layout and then click on Reset Standard. Make sure you are not in developer mode. You want to reset standard. And that'll take you back to the more familiar environment that you've been looking at. In some cases down to the icons, but not right at this moment, because the first thing we're going to do here is save this as mylayout.html. So we're going to go File, Save. Be certain that you are saving inside your Lesson 05 folder. Now, it may very well, you may be here. It's not where you want to be. You want to scroll down to Lesson 5 and make sure you're saving inside your Lesson 5 folder. And remember, you're naming this My Layout, and it knows it's an HTML page, so it's going to automatically create that. Okay, now just as you noticed that you had one extra folder when we used the starter page, we've got 3 extra folders here. And for housekeeping purposes, I'd like to put them all in one place. I'm going to drag and drop one at a time. Make sure to click Update, and then I'm going to scroll down and the font folder and all into Lesson 5. Make sure it's going where you think it's going. And then last but not least, the CSS folder. And then yes to all. In a real-world environment, you would be working with these files at the root. With the simple versions that we're doing, it's probably not going to be a problem. It's just much easier if you keep everything that has to do with this lesson in this lesson folder. We're going to go File, Save All. And we see that we have other files attached to this page. Now, we're ready to begin our Bootstrap layout. We want to click, first of all, in Live View, we want to click on our Live View page, not in the code page, but in the Live View, because we want this body tag to come up. And the body element is selected. So now, the first thing we're going to do, click on the drop-down arrow to the right of HTML, and we're going to select Bootstrap Components. Now, making sure that body is selected, in this drop-down menu, we're going to click Container. On the top right in our media query interface, we're going to click the min width 768 option, not the min width 768 max width 991, just the min width 768. So click on that. Depending on the size of your computer screen, you may have to close the code view by clicking Live View, because you need to have at least 1100 pixel width showing to be able to see all of your media query options. So you can see that we have the 768 right here. That's our small media query option, and that's what we want to have selected. So once I've selected it, I can go back into split view. And now I am going to click the grid row with column item in the insert panel. I'm going to click the nest option. I'm going to change the number of columns from 3 to 1. And then I'm going to click OK. Now, just look over here and make sure that you see two things. Make sure that the column that you just created is inside of the container. You nested it. And also make sure that it's small. And you can see column small 12. Okay, now you're going to click the grid row with column component again. Only this time you're going to enter 1 for the number of columns, but you're going to hit after. Make sure you select after and then click OK. So now look over in your code and confirm that it is indeed after the row column small that you did previously. Okay, you're getting the hang of this now. We're going to insert another grid row with column. Click on grid row with column. Now this time we're going to have 3 columns, which is the default, and we're going to select after again and then click OK. So what you see is we have the div that surrounds everything. So you want to scroll down so you can see that this is created correctly. The div container holds everything. Then first we have a div class row. Inside of that we have a div class column small 12. After that we have div class row, div class column small 12. After that we have a div class row, and inside of that div class row we see 3 columns. And instead of 12, since we have 3, it's 4, 4, and 4, which equals 12. Now make sure your cursor is in the correct place before you make the last addition. And you want your cursor to be between the last 2 closing divs. And you're going to click the grid row with column and change the 3 columns to 1. And then you're going to click after and OK. So now you can see we've got the container that holds everything, open closing tag. We've got the first row with 1 column, small 12. We've got the second row with 1 column, small 12. We've got the third row with 3 columns, 4, 4, and 4, so it divides that 12 up into thirds. And then finally, we've got the last row with 1 column, 12. And then again, there's the closing tag. Next, we're going to begin turning this into a semantic structure. And you know that's my favorite part.